Welcome to Module 4 of the Executive Presence and Communication course. Here I'll be taking you on the session called Presentation Mastery. Yes, we're going to learn all about presentation. How do you structure a clear and compelling presentation? How can you open your presentations with confidence and strong opening hooks? And how can you close out your presentation memorably? All of this is necessary in being a confident speaker. How can you speak more naturally without memorizing scripts? Of course, I'll always have a check-in for your assignment. Keep doing them, and if you've been doing them, I celebrate you. Well done. Let's move into high-impact presentations. A powerful presentation is great once it has both slides and a great delivery. Presentations are not only made up of slides or images or different presentation formats, it also involves how you flow with your message, how clear you have structured your talk or your presentation and the content of your presentations. Most weak presentations fail because sometimes they are disorganized and they are delivered poorly. Imagine you're on stage, the stage is yours, and you have to deliver a powerful presentation. I want you to remember some of these tips that as you're delivering that presentation, you're standing on stage or you're sitting down virtually in front of a camera and speaking to an audience. Presentation is not just a transfer of information, it's also a transfer of conviction or results. Because the audience will remember you for how you made them feel and what you stood for. Another thing again is clarity in structure helps your message land more smoothly and people would understand you. Not just in memorizing everything and just coming to pour at them. There's a place where you need to memorize one or two things, but you don't want your presentation to feel so rigid and rehearsed. There's a way you engage with the audience on stage, there's a way you speak to them, there's a way you interact, there's a way you bring your essence as a speaker to the stage or to the virtual stage. What is the three-part presentation framework? I always talk about framework. I always talk about different things that you can use so that you can remember and help you replicate results. We don't want you to wing your presentation and succeed the first time and the second time you're failing. No, we need a systematic approach and structure that can help you excel in every presentation. The first one is your opening, having a strong hook. In social media today, in videography, in movie creation, and even in content creation, they always talk about hook. It's the same in public speaking, something that will catch your audience and make them listen to you. Your core message, that is where you deliver your value. And having a strong closing. What is one thing the audience will remember you for? And remember your talk for, remember your presentation for? How you say it, as I usually say, is important and is twice as much important as what you have to say. I know we spoke briefly about the three framework. We're going to look at now introduction, body, and closing, and we're going to look at different examples. I have this example. Today, I want to show you how communication confidence can transform your professional opportunities. That's the hook. Today, I want to show you. Everyone is like, okay, what do you want to show us? And then I go straight into explaining the framework, the example, the insights, and things that I need you to know. And then I say, if there's nothing you have gotten from today's presentation, I want you to remember this one thing. Or I can say, one thing I want you to remember today is everyone is a powerful communicator and speaker. You need to unlock the version of you that can command rooms, command stage, and command global audiences. What are some of the strong opening techniques that we have? We need to evaluate and look at a few because they're myriad, and I've just selected a few that I have used personally. I've worked with my clients and they use that, and I've seen other people use it more powerfully. Have you ever built or have you ever had a brilliant idea? Or have you ever built from a brilliant idea or built from scratch? I'm starting by asking a question. And sometimes speakers say, raise up your hand if you have done this, and people raise up their hands. Some other speakers start by sharing a short story. I said, when I was 15, this happened. Some people will say, 3 years ago, I walked into the United Kingdom. And the rest is history. I can go on and flesh out. So this is a strong opening. And these are examples and techniques. Do you know that 75% of people say public speaking is their biggest fear? And that's a surprising fact. I can start with a bold insight by saying, you are the sum of the three friends you spend the most of your time with. Or your ideas are only as powerful as your ability to communicate them. I've heard things like that. I've heard the example of friendship. I've heard your net worth. Your network is your net worth. I've heard things like that. And even from a Christian perspective, I heard things like, as a man thinketh, so is he. Like there's just a lot of those things are strong bold inside. And you're like, wait a minute. What is she saying? What is he saying? What are they saying? Closing techniques. You can start by summarizing. Here are the 3 aspects of XYZ. And I show my hand. Remember hand gestures? And remember the rule of 3. Remember saying your voice and your pitch. These are the 3 things I want everyone in this room to leave here with. I can look at my room if I'm like in an auditorium or in a space. And you want to end with an inspiration or a quote. I want you all to remember that we are the change we seek. That's an inspiration. And sometimes I do a lot of inspirational talks. And you can end with a question. If we can curb crime today, what would you do differently? And you can ask your audience the question. What are some things we can look at when delivering a compelling presentation, and how can we go about it? Make your message simple. Don't overload your presentation with too much information. Keep it simple. Simplify ideas. Explain clearly. Avoid unnecessary complexity. Focus on key message and make ideas easy to follow. Because when your idea is already complex, people will be disengaged. People will not want to listen. Storytelling. Powerful storytelling techniques help you connect with your audience. So this is something you should put. I remember I had a module on storytelling. This is something you should put into practice when you're delivering a presentation. You can talk about a scenario. You can talk about lessons learned. You can even share client examples. I've shared a testimonial of my client. Okay, I'm saying my client did this without sharing too much details about my client, right? I was like, this is what I've learned. On my Instagram, I share a lot of things about my clients that I've worked with. You can share about challenges and solutions you have seen. Good presenters think about who they are speaking to, what the audience need, and they make their audience aware, very much aware. Strong communication is audience focused and not only speaker focused. Yes, you're the speaker, yes, you're on stage or a virtual stage. You have the limelight, you have all eyes on you. Remember your audience. Remember what they can take away from it. And like I always say, presentation should always answer the question, why should the audience care? Sometimes delivery and engagement can strengthen your message more powerfully. There are times where maybe your delivery is not tallying with your message. Imagine if I'm sitting down, I'm delivering when I'm supposed to be standing. Imagine if I'm slouching on my chair. I'm like, hi, everyone. I'm delivering, but my delivery is not strengthening my message. Okay? Sometimes when you're standing in front of an audience, in front of a camera, your delivery, the energy, I know I've talked about energy previously, how you engage matters. You can enhance your delivery by maintaining eye contact, number 1, intentional pauses like we've talked, number 2, and then engaging. Engaging, I want to emphasize on that. And that's what people do a lot with questions. How many of you here took coffee this morning? And even when I'm virtually, can you put in the chat on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling? I do that a lot. Your delivery can impact your presentation. It does impact. It helps sometimes if a great delivery build trust, or it can break the trust that people have in you as a speaker. How can we speak without memorizing scripts? Of course, you're like, Coach Z, I have a 20-slide presentation. I don't know everything. Are you saying I should not use script? No, I'm not saying that. But don't depend on it, because there's a script dependency trap where you see people who have script and they're just waiting. Like everything has to be with script. Like imagine I'm reading, hello everyone, or you can see people just looking at the slides and reading from the slides completely, no eye contact with the audience, you're not reading the room, you're not scanning the room. And sometimes you just focus on retrieving information. You cannot simultaneously think, read the room, respond to energy, or adapt by the time you're reading a script. Because when you're reading a script, you can't focus on the people. You can't even, like maybe if someone asks a question, someone's looking at you, there's a light bulb moment. Sometimes I can say, wow, I see you. You have a light bulb moment. That's great. And it disconnects you from the room and your audience. You can use sticky notes, of course. You can use cues, of course. You can even use acronyms to help you. I know sometimes people can say, oh, I'm going to have presenter notes. Okay. If you're always reading at your presenter notes, you're not making eye contact with the audience. There's nothing wrong with presenter notes. Don't get me wrong. I can tell you for a fact that everything I'm doing right now, even though it's virtual, I'm not using any presenter notes because I know my content and I've delivered this over and over again. I've worked with lots of clients. Okay. If you're delivering a topic where maybe it's your first time, of course, you can use cues, you can use sticky notes. Energy on stage, virtual or in person, strong stage presence combines confidence, authenticity, and control energy. I can come on stage and I'm like, hello, everybody. Welcome to Module 3, Module 4, Module 5. And I believe if you did the video, you will see the person who had excessive energy. If you the video analysis I gave to you, if you watch all of them. You can command attention naturally and persuasively across diverse speaking contexts. Because presence and positive energy creates positive impact. So your energy on stage matters. Of course, it has to be controlled. How do you prepare for presentation? Use anchors and acronyms. Know your structure well. Rule of 3. Know your opening and closing by heart. Prepare for worst case scenario. I tell my clients that imagine you're in a place that the lights went off, technical issues. Would you be stranded? Would you be like, oh my God, oh my God? If you check one of those videos, someone had, oh my God, a technical issue. You can use the opportunity to engage. That's what differentiates a normal speaker from a powerful, intentional speaker. If my slides go off and I'm on stage, I would use that period to ask questions to the audience. I'll ask something that's related to my presentation. I'll just engage with the room. What are you guys looking forward to today? One person. Come on, someone should tell me. One person, tell me. Okay, I'm going to go to someone in the front. If no one is responding to you as in an audience. Hi, my name is Hefzibah. I can even come down on stage while the technical team is sorting technical issues. Can we introduce ourselves here? I want you to know one person here. Like I would look for, and that is how you can see professional speakers. They think on the spot, especially when you're in a scenario that you did not plan for. I worked with a lady at some point in Nigeria where she would print her slides on paper because things can happen and things indeed did happen. What's one lesson you have learned today? I've said so much about how to deliver high compelling presentations. It's one thing to listen, but it's one thing for you to write down something that you would do. And that's why I say, what is one lesson? And that's how I like to end. Because I want to invite you as well. This is also my way of engaging you, even though we're virtual. I want to invite you. I don't just want to say, okay, here's a summary. No, develop a summary for yourself and you know yourself better. You know the areas you want to work on and you apply it, and I would give you feedback. Here is the next exercise. Using any of the presentations you have delivered recently, I want you to answer this question in one sentence. If an audience remembers nothing else about you, I want them to remember XYZ. And I want you to deliver a presentation. You can deliver a presentation. You can, in this class, we're recording lots of videos. So I want you to deliver all of those and you answer the question. And in your presentation, it can be 1 minute long, it can be 2 minutes, but not more than 3 minutes, please. Right. I want you to tell me what you remember. Okay, that brings us to the end of module 4. But I'm looking forward to your assignments. I'm looking forward to your videos. And I'm looking forward to your growth. I believe you've gained so much from module 1 up to module 4. We're going to move into module 5, and it's going to be more exciting, and then module 6. Thank you for listening to today's module. I'm Hefzibah Emerili, Coach Z, and this is the Executive Presence and Communication course. See you in the next module.